What's going on? You didn't make my lunch today. My husband, Jared, shouted over the phone. He sounded annoyed that I hadn't made his lunch and wasn't home. I told you to take care of yourself while I was gone, I replied, trying to stay calm. But you're a housewife, right? He snapped. Why are you skipping your duties? I couldn't believe he was so upset over missing lunch for just one day. How childish, I thought. I was exhausted from doing all the housework, yet he still blamed me when things didn't go his way. As I ended the call, I saw my mother-in-law standing nearby. She had a small smile on her face, having overheard everything. My name is Melody. I live with my husband and our 2-year-old twin boys, Sean and Eric. Being their mother is my greatest joy. Jared works in business, and his family owns a Japanese sweet shop. After we got married, I left my job to help at the shop. At first, I thought it would be easy, but it turned out to be much busier than I expected. I serve customers and also make sweets in the kitchen, especially during busy seasons. Even after having my twins, I kept helping at the store. Sometimes, I'd be carrying one of my boys on my back while working, trying to calm them so they wouldn't disturb customers. Jared, however, never cared about the shop. Are you ever going to take over the business? I asked him one day. I've told you many times, Melody, I'm not taking over the store, he said, uninterested. Wagashi isn't popular anymore. The shopping area is dying. If I take over now, I'll have no future. It was clear he had no interest. He had a job at a big company, so he couldn't take over right away, but it still disappointed me. I liked the shop and didn't want to see it disappear. One weekend, I asked him, are you going to play the slot machines again today? Of course, he said casually. Why does it matter? It's my day off. I can do what I want. Jared spent all his free time gambling, while I was left to do everything: cooking, cleaning, laundry, and taking care of the kids. He never helped, not even with raising our children. Meanwhile, my responsibilities at the shop kept growing as my in-laws got older. My mother-in-law, however, was always kind. Melody, we're so grateful for your help, she often said with a warm smile. Unlike the usual stories about strict mothers-in-law, she was sweet and supportive. One day, she sighed, I really wish Jared would help with the store. It makes me sad that he doesn't care. I've tried talking to him, but he won't listen, I admitted. She smiled gently. Well, at least we're lucky to have you, Melody. We shouldn't ask for too much. Her kind words comforted me, as did her help with the children. When I work at the store, my in-laws take care of the kids, which helps a lot. Over time, my mother-in-law became someone I could talk to about anything, even my frustrations with Jared. Ironically, as Jared and I drifted apart, my bond with her grew stronger. My in-laws' support means so much to me, especially now. Life moves fast. Raising 2 kids keeps me so busy that I barely have time to think. At the end of the year, the Wagashi shop gets extremely busy. Many people buy sweets as gifts, making this one of the busiest seasons. After discussing it with my in-laws, I decided to stay at their house for a night to help with all the extra work. I told Jared about my plan. What, you're taking the kids and staying at my parents' house? He asked, clearly annoyed. It's just for one night to help during the rush, I explained. But what about the housework? He complained. Jared never did housework, but he still got upset if I wasn't home, even for one day. It's just one night, Jared, you'll be fine. If you're hungry, you can make something simple, and there won't even be laundry to do, I said, trying to calm him. But he kept complaining. You're still a housewife, right? And I'm the one earning money. Who do you think is responsible for feeding our kids? His words hurt, but I was too tired to argue. I simply took the kids and left for my in-laws' house without his permission. When I arrived, there was a huge amount of work waiting. The Wagashi shop was packed with customers, and orders kept coming in. Staying here to help felt like the right choice. We started by assembling boxes for the sweets. It was harder than I expected, especially since we needed hundreds of them. My in-laws and I split the work, and by the end of the day, I was exhausted. The next morning, I woke up early to start making wagashi. My kids were still sleeping while we worked in the kitchen. The crisp December air filled the house as the sun rose. When the kids woke up, I quickly made breakfast. They ran to me, smiling, and we all sat at the table together, my in-laws, my sons, and me. Then my phone rang. It was Jared. As soon as I picked up, he yelled, "What the heck is going on? You didn't make my lunch today." He was furious because there was no lunchbox waiting for him, something he had always taken for granted. I told you to make your own lunch while I was gone, did you forget? I said, trying to stay calm. What do you mean, avoiding housework? Jared snapped. He didn't like hearing that he had to make his own food. Are you just being lazy? He added. I was shocked. All this anger over one missed lunch? He left everything to me, and now he was acting like this? My in-laws heard everything over the phone and looked just as surprised. After a while, Jared hung up. The room fell silent. The kids seemed to sense the tension and didn't want to eat. My mother-in-law tried to lift the mood. Let's eat, she said cheerfully. Then she looked at me and said something unexpected. Melody, why don't you divorce my son? I froze. I never thought she would say that. My father-in-law sat quietly, his expression hard to read. I know I may be out of line, she continued, but after hearing what he said, I think you see the truth now. She smiled at me. It was the kind of smile people have when they're completely done with something. I feel bad for you, she said. You don't have to keep putting up with him. Follow your heart. She had always supported me, and now, she was encouraging me to move on. My father-in-law nodded in agreement. That was the moment I made up my mind. That evening, I waited for Jared to come home. He still looked upset about his lunch. We need to talk, I said, motioning for him to sit. What is it now? He grumbled. Just sit down. Once he did, I placed divorce papers in front of him. I want a divorce, I said firmly. His face changed. What? Are you serious? The kids are still little. He acted like he didn't understand why this was happening. There's no reason for a divorce, he argued. This is ridiculous. But I had a reason, and I wasn't letting him escape this time. I pulled out some photos from an envelope. This is you, walking with another woman, holding hands. I thought you spent your days off at the slot machines? What's this? His face turned pale. No, it's not what it looks like, he stammered. She's just an acquaintance. A junior employee from your company, right? I said, watching him freeze. I had suspected something for a while and talked to my mother-in-law about it. She suggested hiring a detective. The truth was worse than I expected. He had gone to the slot machine parlor with her, then straight to her house. I pushed more photos toward him. The detective took plenty of pictures. Want to see more? Faced with the evidence, he finally broke down. I'm sorry, Melody, he said, his voice shaky. It was just a mistake. I'll leave her. I swear, please, don't divorce me. But I wasn't going to forgive him. I'm serious, I said coldly. I've been handling the house, the kids, and your parents' store while you did nothing. I told your parents everything. My parents? He whispered. Yes, they're on my side. They said they'll support me. They're furious with you, and they already know we're divorcing. Jared completely broke down, begging me not to leave him. I won't do it again, please. But I had already made up my mind. You'll pay alimony and child support, I said firmly. And that was it. In the end, we divorced. I made sure both Jared and the woman he cheated with paid for what they did. He lost his job, and she was fired too. My in-laws were so angry that they cut him off completely. Now, he works hard labor just to survive. As for me, I stayed at the wagashi shop. My in-laws asked me to take over in the future, and I happily agreed. One day, I will be the shop owner. I'll keep working hard, raising my children, and looking forward. Please leave your comments. We're looking forward to your comments and channel subscriptions. See you in the next video. Thank you for watching till the end.